Hey guys, today I want to talk about two different types of jealousy. We all feel envious to different extents in different situations, but I think two very common instances come from situations we can't control and from situations that expose our fears and vulnerabilities. I want to dissect these feelings as much as possible with you all today to see what we can learn from them. For me, a big one is situations that are out of my control. Maybe that makes me a control freak, but I like to feel that I can impact something, and when I feel that no matter what I do, I can impact something, I'm more prone to feel jealous of someone who has that thing. For example, I feel a little jealous when I see women do things easily and gracefully that involve bending their backs. I go to workout classes, I go to a bar, and I feel myself getting jealous when I see a woman slip into a bridge pose at the end of a practice because it's something I used to enjoy, and that probably makes no sense to you all. So I should start by saying that in 2016, I had a spinal fusion surgery that fused my entire spine to 2 titanium rods from neck to pelvis. I'm very grateful that I was able to get the surgery, but I was definitely significantly stronger, more athletic, more flexible before it. And I'm still active, but I have a lot of pain and I can't bend at all no matter what I'm doing. Jealousy in this situation stems from frustration that I have to endure a painful hardship that limits what I can do, and I see people around me that don't have that same limitation. I realize that feeling this way is pointless, right? Whenever I experience a negative emotion, I try to make peace with it. I know that if I work hard at something, I can achieve it, but in the example I just gave, there's absolutely nothing I can do to work to that level of fitness. So I feel that little bit of negativity rise up in me when I see other people easily doing something that I could never ever do. Jealousy is productive when we see something in someone else that we could aspire to and we could realistically achieve. So if I am in a class and I see a woman with my concept of an ideal body, I would look at her as inspiration. Like, what could I change in my lifestyle? What could I change in my nutrition habits, whatever, to achieve that level of fitness? So that's a stimulating, it's a positive emotion, but the counterproductive jealousy only arises in situations that feel like dead ends with no room for growth. And I'm of the opinion that anyone who gets jealous of someone for something they worked for and something that they can achieve if they work for it too, like good grades, fitness, or really any skill, isn't willing to work for it themselves. And at that point, let the jealousy go, because you either decide you're gonna work on something and you confront your jealousy. You say, okay, I want this thing. I'm gonna work toward it. You get to a crossroads. Either I can have it, and if I can have it, I'm going to pursue it. And if I can't have it, I need to shut off that jealousy because it's just a running tap of negativity and it's not helping you. So either let it help you, let it direct you, or let it go. When I'm in a situation and I see someone doing something athletically that is and will always be out of my reach, I have to let it go. So this same logic applies to any situations that make you feel jealous when you figure, can you impact them or not? Let's go to an example that doesn't involve my specific medical situation. Imagine you're in your early 20s and you see a couple in love. You could feel invigorated and inspired by it if you're single and you could aspire to that or hope that you'll meet your person one day, or you could just appreciate it and think, wow, that's really sweet. There's good in the world. I don't know. But I feel like a lot of people who are either single or in an unhappy relationship feel negatively when they see people in a happy relationship, or like give them the evil eye, people say. That's really just jealousy, and it's not helping the person who's feeling it at all. It's just super negative. I think if you're that person, or if you ever find yourself being that person, you see couples on Instagram, you're like, ugh, because you're not happy in your relationship or you're single, you want to be in a relationship. If there is any productivity that you can pour into a source of jealousy, meaning a direction that you can take your own goals, then that's awesome and that's something productive. But if it's counterproductive and you feel like, oh, I'm never gonna get it and I'm never gonna try, but I'm just gonna keep feeling negatively about it, you have to make a conscious decision to stop. Since this jealousy shows us what we want, we can decide whether or not we want to make it productive. So If I feel envious when I see someone twist their body in a yoga class, I know that there's nothing I can ever do to change my circumstances. I have to reframe my thinking so I can feel gratitude for the athleticism that I still have. I have to think about what I could do to improve my fitness despite the spinal fusion. To the other example, the relationship one, if hypothetically I was struggling in a failing relationship, I would interpret my jealousy of thriving relationships as an indicator that I need to be proactive and make a change. I believe that our brains will only fixate on something we don't have if we really, really want it. So we have to identify if it's something we can and we want to work towards. If it is, go for it. If it isn't, time to work through letting go of those feelings, because without action, those feelings are super, super destructive. Now to address the other type of jealousy that we haven't talked about yet, I think this jealousy comes from fear of losing something or someone that's precious to us. The easiest example, which I think is super, super relevant to our generation, is how people sabotage their relationships with jealousy. I see people damage perfectly good relationships by being overprotective or controlling of the person they're dating because fundamentally they perceive other people or certain actions as threatening to the relationship, and the relationship is so dear to them that they want to do everything they can to protect it, but more often than not, their methods are a little misguided. The jealous person will make restrictive rules, go through cell phones, stalk social media to monitor how their boyfriend or their girlfriend has been engaging with other potentially threatening people. And it's so clear that this comes from fear of loss, because if you've ever done it, which I think all of us have in some situation, you realize that the people that bother you the most are the people that are most likely to attract your significant other. So if you know that they're communicating with someone they would never consider dating, you don't feel threatened by it. But if you see someone that maybe looks a lot like you, or that's exactly in line with the interest that your significant other has, you might feel threatened, and that's what's gonna cause you to act jealous. But this type of jealousy is gonna push the person you love away from you. So the goal is to stop doing that. This type of jealousy from fear works in exactly the opposite way that we want it to. For example, let's say you tell your boyfriend not to be friends with girls on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or whatever because you feel jealous of the attention he gives them. I think that he might do it, but it'll end up putting distance between you two because no one likes to be controlled, and he might justifiably think you're unreasonable for telling him that he can't like other females' posts or engage with them when females are half of the population and half of his page is made up of pictures of you or whatever. Basically, he's publicly acknowledging that you're in a relationship and he's not crossing any lines or flirting with anyone, but you're so threatened by the idea of him interacting with maybe not all girls, but certain girls. It's just not really fair to him, and it's also sending him a message that you really don't trust him. And if that's not true, you should try to improve your behavior so you're sending true messages. And because your feelings don't come from a bad or an evil place, you get defensive when he gets upset with you for something like that, because you don't feel like you're being that way by choice, because this isn't driven by thoughts, it's driven by feelings, and you're acting out of emotional impulse in a misguided attempt to safeguard the relationship. But instead, all you're doing is undermining the trust and disturbing the peace between you. And I'm saying you because I'm just talking, but I mean we, us, me, you, all of us, like humans, we do it. If you're jealous out of fear, you have to realize that you can't and you shouldn't want to put the person you love in a protective bubble, because if you let the person that you love, let's say your boyfriend, have female friends and he crosses lines that make you uncomfortable, I hate to say it, but he probably isn't the right man for you. People should respect your boundaries. They should be in tune to your expectations. And if he is constantly crossing lines that make you uncomfortable, then he probably doesn't know how to exist within your comfort zone. And if you've explained it to him and he has kind of a natural feel for how you are, he should stop. I say trust people, give them freedom, and if they constantly disappoint you, they're probably not the best match. That's it. Probably just not that compatible. I just think this type of jealousy is important to pick apart because it's so incredibly counterproductive, because it's hurting the very thing you're trying to protect, and it's tearing down your mental health too. So the next time you feel yourself grabbing somebody's phone, just don't do it. Just give them the benefit of the doubt until you have a reason not to. I just think that in the age of social media, it's easier than ever to stalk your significant other and check up on their actions. But if you feel yourself doing this, maybe it's time to reassess either the way you think or the relationship, if there are actual red flags that are legitimate causes for concern. Red flags are different to different people. I'm not gonna say this is a red flag, this is a red flag. I think they all have to do with your comfort zone and what you expect. So don't ask other people what are red flags. I think a lot of it has to do with your comfort level. What makes you react emotionally and anxiously and makes you upset? Then it's a red flag, you know? The point is not to find someone who's like a perfect person. The point is to find someone that fits you. The next time you find yourself creeping, please put your time to better use. There are so many reasons that relationships struggle. So you create unnecessary hardships if you let your fear manipulate your behavior. Please let me know the situations that make you feel envious in the comments below. What can you learn from your own patterns? If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe to my channel for more girl talk, because there's a lot more to come soon. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.